This is wild. And trust me, this goes way deeper than just the people that they've actually arrested. Anybody who says that this is shocking is either stupid or blissfully ignorant. Like, when I saw this happen, it was more like, oh, damn. But I wasn't shocked. I was like, oh my goodness, people were betting on a basketball game. The mafia was involved within the NBA, one of the most watched sports in the world. Something which I'm going to get to that is very easy to bet on. Over or under 10 assists. Over or under 16 points of 3-pointers. That whole over and under betting is crazy because, again, because I watch a lot of basketball shows because I used to watch Gilbert Arenas show before the guy was a moron. But obviously watch, what's it called? It's a First Things First and Cameron and Mace's show. And they are sponsored by Underdog. And I think in Underdog, one of the betting things you can do is over or under. Over or under how many points. Over or under how many assists. And if you're doing an over or under, do you know how easy it is to manipulate that? So, this is what the guys are saying. Insane money in the so Terry Rozier arrested by the FBI for illegal gambling. I'm going to get to this freaking dude. Chauncey Billups arrested in an illegal poker operation tied to the mafia. And then Damon Jones charged in an illegal gambling case. So let's talk about the Big Shots Billups. So you see, it just shows you that, you can't really judge someone on face value. Because again, I told you, like, my second favorite sport is basketball. So I watch a lot of basketball shows, different basketball shows. So I've known about Big Shot Billups because I think he played for the Nuggets. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know whether it was the Nuggets or someone else that he played for, but he was on several teams, but I think he played for the Nuggets at one point. But he's been on many shows. He's very respected. As in, when you just know a guy is respected by how people talk about him, because I think he might have been on All the Smoke with, what's it called? Obviously Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes. So he might have been on All the Smoke, but I've just seen him on many podcasts, and he's a very respected guy. So it made sense that he'd become a coach just based on just how he played the game, his basketball IQ, and just the reverence that people have for him. So to see him involved in this, you can say, oh my gosh, oh boy, such a respected guy. But again, bro, MJ was betting. Bro, if you go and look at the 80s where there was a drug problem and a betting problem with guys going to the casinos, I think Jordan said that I think he lost like a whole bunch of money when he used to go to Vegas in the casino. So Jordan was known as, this was a high gambler. And he was just known as like a high stakes gambler. And I think Jordan still gambles. So, but what is crazy is how the mafia is involved. It's the mafia's involvement in this is crazy because it's almost as if, because bro, they say like all the families of New York are saying what's up. So this is like your boy Don Corleone with a mixture of your boy Tony Soprano. So I don't know what's going to happen with Billups, but the fact that he's connected with the mafia, that is crazy. And my thing is this. Honestly, I'll get to Rozier afterwards. You can't tell me that Billups is the only guy involved in this. I don't know if it's hold it. Tell Rozier. So you can't tell me that Billups is the only guy involved. So you're saying that he is the only coach that was involved in this poker thing within the NBA, because I just feel that this is a lot larger, and this is going to connect it to a lot of other people as well. Because remember, that moron Gilbert Arenas, he got done because he was involved. I think he was even involved with like an Israeli mafia group. So I don't know how he sort of got off within it, but I just feel that there is a massive gambling culture within the NBA, but specifically with gambling and with poker as well, that has gone all the way back since the 80s and probably even before then. But because my thing is, Chauncey Billups is just one. He just won. And I'm sure that there are several other people who have been connected with this poker gambling issue with the mafia. But this is why I wanted to do the video. Because when the Billups stuff, I'm like, okay, that's maybe way above my pay grade because that may involve like a RICO case, the FBI looking at these guys for a long time because this is Kash Patel, the head of the FBI. So once those guys are involved, this may be some kind of deep RICO, freaking Donnie Brasco-esque stuff that these guys are doing. Like Goodfellas. There's a video going around on Twitter. So there's a video going around on Twitter right now of a game that Rozier is playing. And you know, when a guy is like a bad actor, and when the way you're selling your treachery is so bad and so blatant that it's crazy, bro, the way this guy was misplacing passes, the way this guy was breaking shots, the way this guy was just pretty much turnover after turnover, and the way he was causing those turnovers, I was like, this looks sketchy. So the fact that he was arrested and you go look at that game, I'm like, bro, we don't need a jury. We don't need a trial. Lock him up. He's guilty. Whatever you want to do for him, whatever the punishment is, he's guilty. We don't need to go through anything. Because I'm like, no, this is so obvious. Then I had myself thinking that, do you know how easy it would be if the bet is, okay, under 12 assists or no more than 12 assists? So you get your 12 assists, it's fine. Oh, 5 turnovers. Or so you could say that, okay, Miami Heat, I'm going to bet that they're going to have over 10 turnovers in this game. So, over 10 turnovers. Yo, Rozier, give me like 4 or 5 turnovers. And keep looking at the clock, try and just get 3 or 4 turnovers so we can now try and win some money to get over 10 turnovers. Once you do that, we can easily split up the pie. That game I saw from Rozier, there was definitely a bet of Miami Heat having over 5 or 6 turnovers, 100%. And once that happened, someone very discreetly gave Rozier some extra change and extra cash. Or this may now go into some Hollywood stuff where maybe Rozier owes some people, is involved with some shady people, and he had to do what he had to do to say what's up. Because again, I'm just going into whole movie stuff about how these athletes sort of now getting into trouble. That's just my Hollywood brain going. So again, that's just like my conspiracy brain going. But I saw something very interesting. So shout out to this user. So this is dated March 23rd, 2023. So this guy from Whiskey, Terry Rozier had no problems listed all day. Was never listed on an injury report. His props gets listed late, and then he plays the first quarter and is ruled out for the rest of the game. Surely nothing shady going on there. And this was dated March 23rd, 2023. And then another one. So this is dated April 4th of this year. Chauncey Billups called a timeout to take his 2 best players, Denny Advija with 37, by the way, out of the game with 3 minutes left in a 5-point game and never put them back in. You will never convince me some of these teams don't blatantly lose on purpose. Guys, you see, and the reason why I wanted to do this because obviously my main thing is football, football hot. I always said that football is tricky to bet on. Basketball is easy. Basketball is 5-on-5. And in basketball, football has just way so many variables. It's a lot more tricky to now bet on goals, bet on assists and wins, because it's a lot trickier to do stuff. There are so many things you can bet on in basketball. It is so easy to administer them in terms of points, in terms of turnovers, in terms of assists, in terms of deciding games. The influence you can have on the outcome of a basketball game is far easier than influencing a football game. So 1,000%, there are way more people involved in this than just Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier. 100%. Because it is, bro, if I work for the mafia, 100% I am reaching out to basketball players and say, yo, let me influence some freaking games, bro. Let me influence some freaking games. Because there is so much money to be made. Because I've always said that, like, I never bet. Like, after R9 lost me money, no six never bet. But I said, if I was going to bet, I'll influence the outcome. So if I was going to bet, I will gain in contact with a basketball player and say, yo, I'm going to bet for Miami Heat to have over 7 turnovers. Mate, I'm gonna need to make 3 or 4 turnovers right now. Or I'm gonna bet on when Banyama to gets 35. Vic, once he hits 35, fake an injury, get out of that freaking damn game. And when I get that cash, I'll slide you some of that argent. Some of that argent. Merci beaucoup, mon ami. Like, bro, there are way more people who are involved in betting than this. Because what's happening right now, guys are now sweating. Because guys are like, oh, the jig is up. You cannot tell me, with all the players in basketball and the nature of basketball, there are not way more people that are betting. And guys, here's the thing. Sports is corrupt. Sports is corrupt. Your boy Armstrong, Tour de France dude. Sports is corrupt. So the question isn't whether sport is corrupt. The question is, how deep is the corruption and how many people are involved? Never ask the question of whether sport is corrupt or not. No, never ask that. The question to ask is, how corrupt is it and how many people are involved? So the biggest one in football, of course, was your boy Moji. Shout out to your boy Moji. So this was obviously the biggest one out there. The thing with Moji was, it was obvious what was happening. So, which is why it's so hard to do it in football, because I was like, wait a minute. So obviously you are trying to influence Juve winning. How are they 7 minutes added on when there was no stoppage during the freaking game? How is it that you literally only blow the whistle until Juve either gets an equalizer or they get a winning goal? It was so obvious, and he was found out because you always saw the guy threatening the referees and had them. So that's how you had the whole Calciopoli thing involved. And now you've now seen the Mafia, who are very invested in the Syria. Once they now expose the Mafia, Syria has now fallen to not even the 5th or the 6th best league. But the thing about football, though, is, okay, I want to bet on fouls is possible. Okay, he's going to make like 3 or 4 fouls. That's possible. But then what could be a yellow card? What could be a second yellow and a red card? So that could be trickier. Assists is tricky. Assist is tricky. You can't... For instance, the perfect example is the turnover. There's no such thing as a turnover in football, which you can really bet on. As in, oh, how many times can you misplace a pass? I don't think you can really bet. You can bet on goals. You can bet on assists. You can bet on when a guy is going to score. But when a guy is going to score, that's tricky because it's so hard to freaking score. Assist, it depends on the guy scoring. And remember, this isn't basketball where it's easier to score and football, which is harder to score. So for football, there's so many variables within it. It's a lot trickier. But the turnover thing is so freaking key. That is so freaking key. I can bet on a dude saying that I think the Spurs are going to get 15 turnovers. And I just need to just nudge onto someone with Wembanyama, yo, just, you know, say. Or Lakers are going to get 12 turnovers. Yo, Doncic, they're not paying well. Yo, Luka, just, you know, and I can serve you if a few thou. Help me out with this 12 turnovers. You know, Mavericks, 15 turnovers. Yo, Kyrie, bro, look, man. Just, it goes deeper. It goes so freaking deeper, you know. And my thing, though, is how many other people are involved. Because what is so crazy? Because it's like a movie. Because, bro, the mafia are involved. But again, I said to myself, okay, so, and maybe I want to ask you guys. Maybe you can put it in the comments below. What would be the easiest sport to, if you're part of the mafia, what would be the ideal sport to bet on to try to influence the outcome and get paid? Look, from way back, it's always been boxing. It's always been boxing from way back because it's like he's going to go down in the sixth. You go down in the sixth. So again, because if you watch Pulp Fiction, that's a big part of the story plot in Pulp Fiction with Bruce Willis and Ving Rhames' character. So boxing is always the easiest. It's like, oh, when is he going to go down? Oh, he's going to go down in the seventh. Bro, if you don't go down in the seventh, your life is over. You go there, take a cheap shot, you go down in the seventh, and you don't get up. So boxing is always the easiest. That is always the easiest. But I think I don't know how they sorted that out in boxing, or maybe because there's now so much money to be made, and I think boxers now are so much more prideful. You can't convince a Canelo Alvarez to throw. Boxers are more. There's more money in boxing, and boxers are more prideful. You are not gonna get Canelo Alvarez to throw a fight. You're not gonna get Terence Crawford to throw a fight. It's not gonna happen. You're not gonna get Usyk to throw a fight. They're too prideful. But you look at what's happening with Jake Paul. See, Jake Paul and that stuff, 1,000% people got paid. You couldn't convince me that Jake Paul knocked out all those guys. 1,000%. Those guys who got knocked out by Jake Paul, they got paid. 100%. That happened. So, but next to boxing, I told you, NBA. You get a line in with a player like a Rozier or other guys. You can say, like, bro, look at Doncic, bro. You know, you convince me and everything. Yeah, I know you play for the Lakers. Doncic, give me a few turnovers and I can get you some bread. Give me some turnovers and I can get you some freaking good bread. But put it, guys, I swear to you right now, you can't convince me that at least 40% of the league are involved in illegal gambling. It's coming crazy. At least 40% are involved with the mafia in the NBA, 100%. At minimum 40%. Baseball, that's crazy. Okay, you know what? Okay, sorry. Minimum 30% of the league, coaches and players, are in some way, shape, or form involved. Because those guys who don't have those huge bumper contracts that like Steph has, or LeBron has, or the shady one that what's my guys? The guy from the Clippers again. I think Kawhi. Guys like Kawhi have. Like guys that have contracts are pretty good and everything. You can make a few $100,000 on the side. Because that's why I said okay. The last thing I'm going to do is we'll talk about so long. Over or under 15 turnovers. Look, I think the Spurs are going to get over 15. Okay, I'm going to think the Lakers will get over 15 turnovers. 100,000. You put in 100,000, you're going to get a lot back. If you say, oh, in this game, I think the Lakers are going to have over 15 turnovers. 100,000. Put that in, and it's spread out. And hence, bro, wait, where's this freaking dude? Sorry. Guys, please go onto Twitter and just go to, because again, YouTube will flag me. Go to Twitter, just type in Rozier and watch his turnover disaster class. That guy got paid. The Mafia were Terry. We are betting on over 10 turnovers in this game. Help us out. 100% that happened. And after that game, he literally got a few $100,000 on the side. Okay, last thing I'll say here. Okay. If you're in the NBA, do you need the extra bread? I mean, because again, I told you, getting into the NBA, that's the win. This isn't like, okay, you play for Division 3 or the championship, or you play for Lugo. Just getting into the NBA, the lowest paid NBA player earns about 5, 6, 7, 8 times more than 99% of people who work a 9 to 5. So the guy who works a 9 to 5 earning like 20, 30 grand a year, if that, is praying to be the lowest paid player in the NBA. So my thing though is, do you need the extra bread? But then it's all relative though. It's about improving your standard of living. So if let's say you're living good, all good, but you can live even better. It's a great house. I can have even a better house. Or I can go on 2 holidays a year. I can go on 5 holidays a year. I can actually go there for even extra. I can even live more lavishly. It's all relative. So if you know that, I can even, because that's why I say, if you're Steph, you're LeBron, you're Kawhi, you don't need the extra red. Although that whole Kawhi thing is a bit tricky, so Kawhi did that. But yeah, it's fine. But outside of that, but if you're the other guys, you're like, I can. So basically, all I need to do is just turn over the ball 5 or 6 times, and I get a few 100,000. That is easy freaking money. Like basically, it's just that there's a risk of getting caught. When so happen, if you just say, wait, all I have to do just for one game. Okay, it's hot your stats or whatever, but just for one game, get 6 turnovers for one game, and you get those 6 turnovers, you walk away with a few 100,000 on the side. I'm just saying, bro. It's crazy, bro. But we'll talk about it on the Vibes Hangout for sure. All right, one love. Peace out.